Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I wanted to bring to you a video about getting a game started where there's no community for it. I get asked this a lot, and lately I've been asked this even more so than usual. So I figured I would just do a video to talk about it. And the game I'm going to use in this example is Armada, but one of the things that I think is important here is this can kind of apply to just about any game that you're trying to get started. I also have a bunch of giveaway news to announce at the end of the video. I've got winners and a new giveaway starting, so make sure you stay tuned to watch to the end of the video for that. So with that being said, I'm going to talk about basically Armada in the context of somebody out there who is trying to get Armada going in their local area and it's just not happening. Now, in this case, it's actually going to be a little bit tricky to start right now because there's so much of the game that is in production or scheduled for reprint right now that there's just a lot of supply that is unavailable. So you're kind of starting with the deck stacked against you because you don't have that much product available to buy. So if somebody is like, oh, we'll just get a Quasar, well, you're gonna have to wait 6 months. Oh, we'll just get a couple of Architons, well, you're gonna have to wait 6 months, or however long it takes for them to get printed. So keeping that in mind up front, there's still a lot you can do. So one of the first things you're gonna have to do is find a place that you'd like your community to be able to play. So that means your local game store, if they have room. If they don't have room, you need to start looking for outlets that do have room. Maybe your library has enough table space that could accommodate a game night. Maybe a community center has big enough tables that could consolidate a game night. Maybe a church or some type of place that has a facility that can accommodate some type of game night. And try to get acquainted with those people and explain to them what you're trying to do. Ask if something like that could work. Usually there has to be something in it for the place. So if you're talking about your game store, well then you're going to be bringing people into the store and hopefully those people will spend money in that store. So most game stores are very happy to work with you. The problem is a lot of game stores, because I'm assuming whatever game you're trying to get started isn't particularly popular in the area right now, they may not have the expertise to be able to teach and advise people on those games. So that burden is going to basically be on you. So I'm here to help you with that. So first thing you're going to want to do once you lock down a place is schedule some demos. Now there's a lot to doing demos. So one of the first things I got to stress is don't just use a core set when you're doing demos. You want to basically, you want to keep it simple, but you don't want to make people think that that's all there is to this game. In the case of Armada, this is really, really true because the core set for Armada is extremely limited. And especially if you're the Imperial player, you only have one ship. So you really have very, very little in the Armada core set. So I would definitely suggest trying to highlight some expansions without going overwhelming. You don't necessarily have to do a 400-point list. You don't have to do a tournament legal build for each side, but you do want something that's a little bit more than just the core set, and as well as alluding to the fact that there is additional expansions that you can buy beyond this, and also make it very clear what people are going to get in the core set, as well as be abreast of the prices and stuff, because if somebody is interested in your demo, one of the first questions they're going to ask you is this for sale? How much does it cost? How much does it cost me to get into this game if they like it? So have those stats, have the knowledge available to advise them not only as how to play, which is a given, but also how much it's going to cost them to get started and be able to take them further if they are interested in jumping down the rabbit hole. So having game knowledge obviously is something you're going to have to do. I have how to play videos for most of the Fantasy Flight games on this YouTube channel. X-Wing 2.0, I don't have a full how to play video on that yet, but that will be coming out eventually. But every other game I have a how to play. If you're looking to get a game going, I'm guessing you probably already know how to play, but you're going to get some questions that you might not be prepared for. So have a rule book nearby. You don't necessarily have to have it in your hands, but have it accessible, because somebody's probably going to ask you something that you're not familiar with. I've had to do it multiple times. I've been playing these games for years. I find out stuff that I'm wrong about or find out new rulings all the time. Even with Armada, which is my #1 game right now, I find new rulings on and I find out I've been wrong about something for years. So don't be surprised if somebody stumps you or asks you a question that you don't have the answer to. That's just part of the process. You actually learn a lot more by teaching than you will learn just by playing by yourself. Basically, teach the game, have knowledge of the game, but keep it simple. One of the things I have done when I've demoed Armada for people is I don't generally use any upgrades, but I have upgrades available. So they can see what upgrades look like. And towards the end of the demo, I'll be like, and once you want to play a full game, you can also expand your ships with cards like this, which will do this to your ship and give you more things. And that teaches them, like, oh, that opens up the rabbit hole a little bit, tells them that there's more out there. I will have commanders out on a flagship, but we won't use the commander's abilities in the first game because that's adding extra rules, and I want them to understand that while commanders are crucial and you must have a commander, that will make this your flagship. I set their abilities aside because, let's face it, if you're running the core set, you're going to have Tarkin out there on the Victory Star Destroyer. It's not going to make a whole lot of sense. It's not going to demonstrate what Tarkin's really good at. You're going to be getting a token every turn on your one ship, so it might confuse somebody. Is Tarkin a one-ship token person, or is he an every-ship token person, or do all ships always get one extra token? So I like to teach them the basic rules without any modifications, and part of those basic rules are that you must have a commander. The commander's abilities, however, I do point out that we're going to ignore just for the learning scenario. So this way, once they have learned the game, they can go back and look at that commander and say, oh, so his fleet-wide benefit would be this, and oh, that's something we didn't have in the learning scenario, and now all of a sudden they might understand what makes those commanders better. Another thing I like to do is I like to pick, and this can apply to any game, pick something that is visually appealing and make sure that you feature that as well. So in the case of Armada, I can't think of a better ship to bring out than the Imperial Star Destroyer. So try to have an Imperial Star Destroyer, because when Armada was first announced, I wasn't even into it. It took me a while before I decided to take the plunge with Armada, and it was actually the Imperial Star Destroyer's announcement that sold me on the game. I said, that is so darn good looking, I have got to get into this game. So I took the plunge. That was what pulled me down the rabbit hole. So that's a very good option. A lot of people are attracted to this game, even if they're not going to be playing. A lot of people are attracted to the miniatures. That's one of its biggest draws. So, you want to cater to that. People love to run beautiful miniatures, so have an Imperial Star Destroyer out there if you can. And for the Rebels, it could be different. The MC-75 is really, really attractive, but it might not appeal to everybody because maybe not everybody's seen Rogue One, whereas maybe the Home One might appeal a little bit more. So I like the idea of having big ships and small ships, and if you're going with the core set, you're already going to have 2 small ships for the Rebels and a medium ship for the Empire. So having at least 1 large ship on the battlefield really helps stand that out. But you want to, if you're going to add 1 large ship for the Imperials, you may want to add a large ship for the Rebels as well. So some type of Mon Calamari ship is a good idea. I wouldn't bring out an assault frigate just because that's the most non-Star Warsy and the least recognizable ship, arguably, in the game. So I wouldn't necessarily do that. But if you, to take another piece of advice, you may also want to bring out a couple extra squadrons. When I was at Gen Con, I pulled out Han Solo and Boba Fett from the Villains and Scoundrels pack, basically just to have a little bit extra and to show that there are more recognizable faces out there. Plus, Han and Boba can demonstrate some extra abilities, as long as you make it clear that they are not available in the core set. You don't want somebody to think, oh, I really can't wait to get one of those little Millennium Falcons, so I'll buy the core set and find out it's not in there. So make sure you're very clear about what comes in the core set and what is elsewhere, and be prepared to break it down for these. Once you've run demos, you also want to be able to leave somebody with a place where they can get more information. So maybe if you've got a blog or a website, give them that information. If you want to link them to my website, you're more than welcome to do that, or at least point them to fantasyflightgames.com, link them to there where they can get more information from there. But you want to maybe have print out flyers is a good idea of different websites and places where they can get more information. There's a lot of good ones. I have a lot of links for a lot of websites on Crabbok.com under the links section. You can see different blogs, different video sites, in addition to my own. But and there's a lot of different community resources out there. So make sure people are aware of those. But another thing you may want to do is also set up some type of social meetup group, whether it's be a meetup.com website or a Facebook group, so that people have a way to keep in touch with a local community that is growing. beforehand. And I would also encourage you to get your local game stores involved in these as well, so that they can post events if they're going to schedule a tournament or have some kind of special sale on Armada or Imperial Assault or X-Wing or whatever it is that you're trying to get people to play. You know, that's going to encourage the store to get more involved and to tell people about it. And then as people come in, if that store finds there's success there, that store may recommend that group for people who just happen to walk in the middle of the day and maybe have a casual question. Hey, do they play Armada here? And, you know, otherwise that store might just say no, and that person leaves and never comes back. So by creating some type of social media presence, that's a great way to tell people where to go next. So Facebook groups is what I've done. I've done that in Orlando, and we've had a lot of success. And our typical Armada tournaments now are having, you know, over 10 people, which is really, really nice. And this is just like small 2-round tournaments, so, you know, just like a, you know, an enhanced play day, basically. So it's a cross between a tournament and just a casual fun day full of Armada. And we're also looking at getting more fun events set up too. So that's the next thing. Not everything has to be a tournament, because there are a lot of people that are intimidated by the idea of a tournament, so you don't necessarily have to always just be super competitive. You can have team play days. You can have epic battles, 1,000-point games. Don't lead with that, because that's going to represent a lot of stuff that people have to buy. But team play days is another thing you could do. You could do custom objectives, custom scenarios. Okay, this is a 3-player thing. And we're all trying to get the station in the middle, and whoever can control it wins. But, or something like that. But come up with some custom rules or custom scenarios that are going to be very casual play friendly, or just have open play days where, you know, people can just show up and play. Trying to schedule, you know, 1 or even more than 1 nights a week, depending on interest, and get feedback from the community as well. Some people aren't available on the weekends. Some people are only available on Thursday nights, for example. So if you're the one trying to put it together, that means it's going to be a lot of work on you, because you're going to have to try to make yourself available as many nights as you can, or as many sessions as you can, because what you don't want to have happen is for a couple of people who are very reluctant to play kind of show up, and then you're not there to kind of give them some guidance, or you need somebody there who can take charge, has some initiative, and can get people paired up and get people playing and kind of foster that good environment. So if you've got a teammate or you know, a partner or a group of people who are trying to do this, all work together and make sure at least somebody from your crew is there to facilitate things and to spread the word, because sometimes you'll even have situations where people show up and they don't have their core set yet, or they don't have ships, and they just wanted to watch and get some more information. Like, hey, I heard you guys were playing Armada on Thursday nights. I just wanted to come by and check it out. But if they walk in and there's nobody there, then they're going to think, oh, that never happened. And then the next person they talk to, they're going to say, oh, yeah, they said they were playing Armada at that store, but I went and it turns out it was a load of baloney. Forget that store. So again, you have to stay on top of these things. Communicate often in your social media groups, if it's a meetup, Facebook, or something else. But definitely get involved with that. Have printouts. Talk to the store. Talk to the store as much as you can. Make sure that they're supporting you. Make sure you have enough play surface to actually be able to play the full game. Not all stores have tables that are that big. I'd like to think that most would, but not everybody can have that big of a link. Now, if it's a 40K store or something like that, then definitely they're probably going to have that. But if it's a smaller store that just plays games like Magic or card games, they may not have the table space to support a game like that. So that's one of the things you're going to need to really talk with them, explain what you're trying to do, and see how interested they are in supporting you. Because it could be, if it's a small enough environment, you might be able to swing a Star Wars-esque game night that has both Imperial Assault, Armada, and X-Wing all in the same night. Then you can actually introduce, maybe some X-Wing players have never heard or seen Armada. They might see a game playing, or you set up to demo. You can get people, you know, to spread the love of their hobby around a little bit more. So these are just a couple of tips I had on how to get a game going in your activity, or in your local community, get these activities going. I do want to talk about some giveaways right now, because to help you in getting your giveaway going, I am going to be giving away an Armada core set in the form of a Cool Stuff gift card. That's going to be an $85 gift card. That's what they're selling it for. So $85 gift card. Maybe if you can use this for prize support if you don't need the core set, or if you are looking to get into Armada and you're just like, oh, that's a little bit of a buy-in. I'm giving away an $85 Cool Stuff gift card so you can get yourself a core set free of charge, or you can use it towards whatever else you want to do. Maybe you're going to use it towards prize support, or you're going to buy a couple of expansions and hand those out to people, or you just want to get some stuff yourself. Maybe you want to get some of the new X-Wing 2.0 stuff. Really, I'm not going to control what you do with it, but the idea, the spirit of this giveaway is for an Armada core set, and the only thing you need to do to enter to win that is to become a subscriber and leave a comment on one of my Armada videos. All right, and this is going to run for a couple of weeks. I'll probably announce this in the first or second week of September, probably before X-Wing 2.0 officially launches. So, but I will announce the winner at the end of one of my videos. It's not guaranteed to be an Armada video, so you're going to have to watch all the way to the end of my videos to see if you have won or not. If you don't claim it within 30 days, it'll roll over, and then I'll just do another giveaway, and then somebody else will have it. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about some winners, because I have some other winners to announce some giveaways for. So, first off, on Patreon, I want to big thanks to my patrons out there, and that is for some SDCC and Gen Con promos for the Lando and double-sided Vader for X-Wing. That is going to be Robert V. Cesar. Congratulations, sir. Send me a message on Patreon. I will get your contact information, and we'll get these out to you as soon as possible. And then for the card game, this was from the Keyforge videos. We are giving away 4 Destiny promos, and they are Krennic, Jin, Dr. Aphra, and Rex. This are SDCC, Star Wars Celebration, and Gen Con. Lots of promos there. That is going to be subscriber Zombie7979. Congratulations. Make sure you shoot me an email or contact me on whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or through my About page on the back end of my channel, and I will get your shipping information. Give me all your contact information. We'll get this out to you as soon as possible. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully you found this helpful. If you didn't, well, I'll try harder next time. But if you did, go ahead and like the video. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I appreciate that. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you're excited about an Armada core set giveaway, let me know. Share this video with your friends. Hopefully we can get these games and our hobbies growing more and more, because they're really, really magnificent. They're so much fun, and everybody deserves the opportunity to jump into one of these games and have the time of their lives. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.